Welcome, welcome. We're gonna we're gonna get started here very shortly. Coach Santos here. Welcome. I'm alone in the studio, so bear with me. I want to welcome you to 30 to 45 minutes of Your Solution Live with your host here, Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. Coach Jim or Jim out of Tucson, Arizona may be here with us tonight. I'm not sure, but I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to invite you to get inside, put your seatbelt on, lock the door, turn down all your distractions. Make sure that you grab a pen and a piece of paper because I'm going to offer you to take POIs, points of interest. And boy, I'm over here and I've lost my pen. But, anyways, Coach Santos, Stockton, California, founder of the Soldiers of Self Mastery Movement. I'm welcoming you here tonight, 35, 45 minutes. We're going to look for your solution to crush the addiction, to overcome the addiction, to live a free, peaceful life with the ability to be able to generate more income, more security, and a greater mindset. So, if you can give me a like during the broadcast, I really would appreciate that. A share. If you find that these broadcasts are beneficial to you, they're supporting you, please share. Please share while we're live. We're broadcasting to Facebook. We are broadcasting to, let me see, we're broadcasting to Facebook, Twitter, and of course, YouTube. Welcome, Jim. Welcome, Jim. The link is in the text there. I'm hoping to have some decent Wi-Fi. I'm not too sure. This is again makeshift studio. We don't have the complete studio back in order yet. So the link is there. You're welcome to join us. We're going to be talking about belief. Tonight we're going to be talking about belief. We're going to dissect it a little bit. Hopefully it'll get into your mind. It'll give you some energy, some hope, some motivation for you to get going in the right direction. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Belief. We have a we do have a proverb, and then of course we do have the call to action. So post your question there. Post your question there in the comments, and I'm going to do my best to truly focus on it. We're going to talk about belief, but I'd rather focus on your question because you're looking for a solution and you're at the right place at the right time. So welcome, Jim. Welcome out of time. As I said, you're welcome to join me on the camera. We'll bring Jim on here. You're welcome to join me on the camera if you're new, I'm going to invite you to Soldier Scribe and to make sure you turn your notifications to all, especially if you are a problem gambler or some person that has addiction that has you by your ankles. Don't wait till it gets you by the throat because then it might be too late. But that addiction has you by the ankle. So you're at the right place at the right time. Ask your question, take some notes, and prepare for Lune. You know what Lune is? I'm going to leave that as a mystery question. Prepare for Lune. All right, Jim, what's on your mind out of Tucson, Arizona?
Hey there,
Tonight,
Santos. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yep,
Okay, great.
go ahead.
Do we have any
Okay.
people on? Are there?
Yeah, we have some guests. We have out of time. There's a few other guests. Unfortunately,
Okay.
Jim, we are going to be talking about belief. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
many people don't believe. They just, uh, people just don't believe. Now, we're going to dissect this a little bit more to see if we can create belief. There's something ironic about belief. I'm going to share that. The ironic about belief. I'll share that in a little bit. So that's what we're going to be taking on. Again, guests, feel free to question. If you're a guest, you want to come on the camera, you can do that. So, what is happening? We are going to be talking about belief. We're going to be bringing on the page here. So, Jim, what's on
Yes.
your mind?
Okay. Yes. I'd like to go and start the program off. Uh, just to apologize to Santos. Santos is, He's venturing into a new enterprise, and he was kind enough to introduce me to it. However, the business kind of triggered me from previous experiences that I've had. And because I got triggered, you know, I started getting very negative. And I kind of got negative at what Santos was promoting. And, and the problem is that, my past experiences, were negative, but that has nothing to do with what, Santos is promoting. So, triggers, is a big problem, I believe. And I think it has something to do with emotional intelligence. It's almost like a dog. I think it's like, when a dog smells something bad and the dog like gets angry, that's kind of like one of those reptilian deals. And unfortunately, I had bad experiences with similar kinds of businesses. And and I'm always going to be looking at the negative. So unfortunately, I kind of spewed out a lot of kind of negative stuff, and I apologize to you, Santos, for kind of like doing that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, that particular kind of business is not for me, because it just kind of like it triggers me, and it just kind of makes me aware of dealing with my own emotions. I mean, I guess sometimes it's good to be triggered, to get angry at something like gambling or like drugs or some type of addiction. You can get angry at it in a way that's okay, but sometimes that's not okay. It's like, some people don't have a problem with alcohol, but if we get all kind of preachy, if we get kind of on a high horse and we start saying, oh, that is bad, that's no good, I mean, you can really start smelling bad. So I think, it's amazing. It's almost like a refinement process. Yes, you should get emotional about things that, are affecting you negatively, but you got to be careful because those emotions can affect other people, and the other people, are basically innocent sometimes. In your case, you're an innocent guy, and I think, you got hurt by some of the things that I had as far as baggage, you see. So I mean, it's like,
Well,
got to be careful. I need to be careful. So I
well,
apologize to you, Santos.
yeah, that's fine, Jim. By the way, good evening, Laura, and everybody else that's here. I appreciate that, Jim. I understand. Sometimes we're playing devil's advocate. Devil's advocate. I have to do that with problem gamblers and people that are in addiction. Now, um, we have to be very careful because there's a lot of things like gambling. Gambling has a lot of deceptive uh, areas, very deceptive, but it's not keen to the human eye. Unless you've been through it, you can identify all of these things. Most people are just going through accepting everything the way it is, and they're not even questioning it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we must do our due diligence when it comes to our life. You know, I wouldn't ask anybody to follow me on YouTube blindly unless you've been around for a little bit. Then I can say, yeah, subscribe, turn your notifications to all. But if I say that to somebody that doesn't really know me, that's going to turn them off. It may turn them off. And I may lose some credibility for that. I don't want to get too deep into business right now because that's another subject. So I do appreciate that, Jen. And again, we set that aside, we go on. The main focus is the main focus. And tonight we're going to be talking about belief. We are talking about belief. Now, why, how do we see belief? Um, how do we see belief? Let me get back to my notes. So, no, no worries, like they say, Jim. You know, we live and learn. We live and learn. And we move, you must move on. By the way, this is episode number 230. I'm going to give it 230 because I think the last one we had was like 220 or 221. Anyways, what is belief? What is belief? How does it affect you? Or how can it affect you? And how do you acquire belief? So, what is belief? What really is belief, and how does it affect you, right? Us, and how do we acquire it? That's what we're going to talk a little bit. I hope that you'll get involved because I really don't want to be the preacher by myself here tonight or this evening. I can be. I enjoy speaking, but I would like for you to open up your mind and share, just like Jim is opening up his mind. Let's get into this and see. And by the way, I mentioned this earlier. Isn't it ironic that in order for you to understand belief, believing, the aspects of belief, what really motivates belief, in order for you to even engage in all of this, you got to believe, right? You got to believe. You wouldn't go somewhere if you didn't believe it was important for you. Isn't that something? You're going to develop your belief, but before you develop your belief, you have to believe that. That sounds a bit ironic, maybe a play on words, but it's a reality. It is a reality. I don't know how to explain that, but just say it the way it is, right? If you're going to go in a certain direction to better yourself, to build up confidence, to build up wisdom, to build up whatever it is, somehow you got to believe that that's going to be the right direction. Um, Jim, if you want to share, I'm going to open
Yeah,
up this. I'm going to make
seems
this
like
bigger because you can't see it. But go ahead, share what's
yeah,
on your
seems
mind.
like belief. I would think belief is kind of like a it's almost like a direction that points you in your life. You know, I mean, you can go down one path or another. You can go down the path of cynicism, right? Or you can go down the path of optimism, right? What do you believe, right? What do you choose? It's like a choice, right? Some people think that belief is not a choice. You know, it is what it is, they say, and I'm never gonna get out of my addiction. I'm always gonna be a gambler. I can't stop. And you talked about it before. You talked about that self-talk, that constant putting yourself down, and hypnotizing yourself. And sometimes people feel more comfortable in that zone just because they don't want to disappoint themselves. Maybe they've disappointed themselves in the past, so they go down the comfort zone of believing that they can't you know achieve something like getting out of gambling. I can't stop going to the casino. I can't stop going to the bank and taking out money. I can't. I just can't. It's just impossible. That's a belief, right? But is it true? That's the question. Is it true? I mean, and that's kind of up to the person, right? It's kind of up to the person. It's a choice, really. Um, but what blocks a person, from believing that they can achieve, that they can, find a better way. You know, I think that's something that takes information like going to this program, like getting the coaching. You know, you got to arm yourself with those, or strengthen yourself. I think with those tools to help you choose that belief of yes, I can kick this addiction. I can fight it. Um, yeah, it just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. But it's a choice, right? And sometimes I think people have to hit rock bottom, right, in order to say, you know what, I can't do this anymore, right? If you're gonna go ahead and continue with your life, I guess. So yeah, belief is a
Well,
choice, you know.
well, there is choice to belief. There is choice to belief. We're going to get into that a little bit more. Let me get into the proverb for today. It's out of Psalm 16:8. It's actually the authorized King Version. I have set the Lord always before me because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. That's a declaration. You see, I read from the holy book. I read from people read from the Quran. They read from other books. I read pieces of other books, but to me, the real peace and the real solid anchor that I have in my life, I get it right from the scriptures. There's a lot of mystery in this world. There's a lot of turmoil. A lot of things are being flipped upside down. We all see this. In fact, there's a storm headed here. It's probably already here in California. I've never seen anything like it. Belief. So the thing is that we must not be moved. You must not be moved. We're reading here. Uh, well, you must not be moved, but then again, you must move yourself through the uh, instrument of believing. A lot of people don't quit gambling because they don't believe they can. They don't believe. Simply by turning on belief and using a few tools, right? You got to use some tools to convince yourself because you've already convinced yourself otherwise. So now you have to reconvince yourself. But let's take a look at this real quick. I'm trying to get these numbers up as high as I can. So belief is a plural. I didn't know it's a noun, right? Belief is a noun. An acceptable, an acceptance that a statement is true or that something exists. Okay, his belief in the value of hard work. Okay, his belief in the value of hard work. Now, hard work is something that's physical. Something, uh, someone, something, something one accepts as true or real, even though you've never seen me or felt my arm or seen me bleed. I believe that you believe that I'm a real person, even though you've never seen me or touched me or sat down with me. So that takes a faith, that takes a belief. I was asking myself earlier, how do we even know that human beings, how do we know? Sometimes I walk around and I go places and I meet people and I ask myself the question, how do I know that person is not a robot? Well, Santos, come on now. Do you really know what's going on? I've been studying in the tech world lately quite a bit. Let me tell you something. There's phenomena going on with artificial intelligence and robotics. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see humans that actually are just like humans. But anyways, that's a belief. I don't know how I went there. So religious conviction. Some people believe in God, right? Some people believe in a God. I believe in God. I believe in a mastermind. I believe that there's somebody controlling all of this ecology, financial system, this whole planet, or else it would have went up in smoke or something. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something. I wrote down, how does it affect you? How does belief affect you? I'm trying to see if I can get somebody in here that would participate in asking a question and let me know what your stand is on believing unbelief, whether it's affecting you to gambling or to non-gambling or any other area in your life. By the way, belief, right, develops confidence, or does confidence develop belief? So there's a lot more here we can look at, but we're going to go back here. So let me see. One day, got to stick to it. Lie in trouble. Patrick, wow, 29 days of non-gambling. That's good. You can get angry. There's absolutely no questions about what we're talking about here. That's fine. You guys are chatting among yourselves. That's fine and dandy. I'm going to continue talking about this. Jim, um, so what's on your mind after me reading some of this here on this page?
Okay, so I guess belief can be, you know, I guess your acceptance of maybe perspective, how you see the world. Okay, and like we said, you can have a choice how you see the world. Now, a lot of us have an issue with being constrained in a certain belief because we think we're under the assumption that there has to be facts, there has to be objective things that back a certain belief because, well, you know, if there's no evidence, well, my belief is wrong. It's kind of like a gambler, right? Think about a gambler, right? They constantly are going to the casino, they're spending their paycheck, and you tell them, you can kick the habit, you can stop. But in their mind, they're so focused on the stuff that they've been doing over and over again. They say, no, 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 I can't believe it because of all these experiences that I have. But, can we accept that? We don't have to accept that. It's probably because we can choose where we can focus on. It's like, I think, what was it, Maxwell Maltz talked about, uh, you know, looking back and seeing the victories in your life. You talked about the wall of fame, right? What were some of the good things that I was able to accomplish and the goals? I've done things before, right? So if I was able to do certain things before, I believe I can apply that to my ability to kicking the habit of stopping and crushing the gambling problem, you know? So let's, have a new belief. Let's have a new perspective. Perhaps we don't have to have all this evidence, or the evidence that we're looking at, you know, should be pushed away. You know, we should state what we want to believe. What do we want to believe, and look for the things that will support that belief, right? Instead of, saying, oh no, you know, look at the times I started and failed. See, I did it last week, I did it last month. So you see, this is the evidence right here that calls me a loser and I can't stop. You know, I mean, if you're focused on that, right? If that's going to be what you're going to use to support, your belief, okay, all right. But we have a choice, right? We have a choice. We do have a choice. So
Yes,
evidence.
we have a choice. We have a choice. The problem is that most people are complicated. Most people most people don't know how to get organized inside the head, and that is a major problem. What's the belief? Why should I get organized? Is there a blessing to that? Well, if you don't believe, nothing's going to happen. You know, faith, belief is a gift. You can't see it. You can see the evidence of it. I believe the gift comes from the maker. But it's up to you and I to develop that, just like all the other gifts that he gives us. If you and I don't develop those gifts, we will be at the mercy of others most of the time. Belief has a work. If somebody says, well, I believe, okay, well, show me your action. What's your action if you believe? The reason that you don't take action is because you don't believe. That's a con- that and what's contributing to that? What's contributing to your unbelief? Environment, actions, people, circumstances. You're looking at everything completely from a different perspective. When you begin to turn on belief, you begin to rise up. You rise up and you see. It's almost like on TikTok. It's a platform, right? TikTok is a big platform, just like the other platforms, but there's a lot of evil within that platform. Also, within that platform, there are beacons of light. If you don't believe that, you're not going to find those lights. If you do not believe, if you're not having believing, you're going to run into a lot of the stuff that's out there that's pure evil. It's poison. And that's what's happening with a lot of people, folks, today. Their minds, you know, poison. It's gotten in there. It's like a septic tank, man. It's clogged. And until you get belief, the plunger, this is a great place to hang out on Sundays for 45 minutes. This is an excellent place. We come here for an hour. You might take a few notes. I don't know who's taking notes. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes with my mind too, because I am going to get better. I am going to develop things. Somebody called me delirious the other day. Yes, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I'm delirious. There's a crazy delirious and there's a good delirious. Which one are you? So, the belief that the belief that hold the opinion, I am firmly of the belief that we need to improve our product beyond belief, astonishingly good or bad, incredible, riches beyond belief, in the belief that thinking or believing that he took the property in the belief that he had consent. Now, there's a lot about this. These we could break all this down. We take somebody's word. We believe. We believe because we read something. We saw something. But ultimately, you are, like Jim said earlier, you are the decider. If you decide that you're not going to believe, you're going to continue to go down the path that is the most destructive path for you. If you choose to believe, then you're going to begin new works. You'll take a note. You'll watch a video more focused to get out of it. What can I get? Whether it's my video or Jim's video or Anthony Robbins' video, what can I get out of this 5-minute video right now that will help me become better tomorrow or this afternoon? I didn't have the belief that I have today. I've worked very hard to get the belief that I have today. And I'm going to continue believing. That's what got me out of gambling. So all these tools and all of these things that I did got me to believe, got me confident, got me to take action. And here I am, several years now, completely free. I don't care about gambling. It doesn't phase me. It will never phase me. It had a hold on me, though. I'll tell you that. It did have a hold on me. So let me see. I do have a question in here. Let me see what your mind. I see you guys are Santos and Jim. Do you feel cold turkey is best to quit? Go ahead, Jim. I'm gonna let you share a little bit there on that one.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Cold turkey.
it's kind of funny, for me. Uh, I, I really think that if you're going to do cold turkey, I think there's something in your body, in your spirit that gets stirred. It's the right time, and when you kind of, if you're aware of that particular stirring, like down within, you can do it because the body's ready, the mind is ready, and like the soul is ready. And I mean, you kind of have to kind of massage it and nurture it, think about it, imagine it. And if you can do that, oh man, you'll light a fire. You're going to light a fire. It's kind of like, for me, I'm just, I get on these diets, these exercise routines. I'm going to be running a little race in September, and it's going to be 10 kilometers. So I do my runs every day. In my third lap, there's something inside me say, you know what, go up the mountain, go up the mountain, go up the mountain. Really? Yeah, go up the mountain. you know that sounds interesting. And that you start thinking about it, and it's like, yeah, I think I can do it, you start seeing, it's like, okay, there it is, start going up. It's tough, little by little. It's like, I did it, you know and man, it's a great feeling. So when you talk about cold turkey, try to kind of, you're going to find a time when it's like, you know what, it's right. I mean, forcing yourself to go cold turkey, I don't know if that's right. I mean, try to, I think, put yourself in that position of inspiring yourself, like coming to talk to Santos, get a coaching session with Santos. I mean, watching his videos, you know, and then just massage that idea. I'm quitting. I'm quitting. I'm done with this stuff. I'm done, And then, focus on that. Now you're focused on it. You're focused, focused, focused. So instead of on the gambling, you're focused on uh, on getting rid of it, Focus on
Well,
something else, like improving your life.
well, here's something interesting, right? When we use the word cold turkey, what exactly does that mean? We know what we heard, right? Cold turkey, right? You're
Just drop
basically, to
it. Yeah.
me, what that really means, honestly, to me, cold turkey means you had enough of this shit and you're ready to turn it out. You're ready to turn it over. That's what cold turkey means. You're going to go with all guns blazing in. When you focus on something, Napoleon Hill in his book, he said, when you focus, it's amazing what happens to your vision. It becomes like a laser. And if you understand what a laser can do, that's where we need to be, having that laser focus so it cuts through everything. So cold turkey is just a word that we've used. My friend, let me give you a secret here for success, for your success. Okay. I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to share with you here. Okay. Please create your own language. Create your own language and live by that language. If that makes sense to you, you'll understand. You'll understand if that makes sense to you. Creating your own language. Do we have to use get rid of this here? When we think about cold earlier in his life, when you hear the word cold turkey, you begin to get thoughts. You begin to get imaginations. It's going to be hard. It's cold turkey. I heard somebody else talking about it. He couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Get rid of that language, create your own language, and you'll be on your way. How do you do that? You got to create your own language. Change words. Get rid of words. I don't know
It's
why it's
it's
doing that.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, when when you're cutting something, obviously there's going to be cravings, right? Now you have to ask yourself, how are you going to deal with those cravings? It's interesting. For me, I'm on this keto diet, right? So I'm off of pizza. I'm off of like sugar, really.
Good
And
stuff.
like when when dinner time comes, or it's like when you start getting hungry, now you're faced, with certain cravings. How do you deal with it? I mean, you got to kind of prepare the mind for this. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great to have this? I mean, for the casino goer, right? Oh man, wouldn't it be
Well,
great to
see,
just go to the casino just for a little bit? You start getting these cravings, right? How do you deal with those cravings?
again, one simple solution right here that I just gave out. We got to create, you have to create your own language. Language is very powerful. Words are powerful. One word can move a mass of people. So you have to learn how to move yourself. You have to learn, you have to create that belief. You create that belief through language, through words, environment. There's many ways to create belief. You already have the seed. We all have the seed of belief in us. The problem is that we're lying dormant. That seed of belief is lying dormant because you're not feeding it. You're not feeding it. You're not, we don't need a steroid injection of motivation and inspiration. You need to find a way to feed that seed of belief in your life. And I'll tell you one good way, this isn't even part of the call to action, is by cultivating a language for yourself. You ever get around people? Have you ever been? I'm sure you have. You've been around people like CEOs, very high elevated individuals. When you listen to the way they talk, it's a different conversation. As a matter of fact, some of these people will no longer conversate with people that don't understand them because it's a waste of their time. It's not that they're better than that person. Unfortunately, their mind's been elevated to a whole different degree. And we all have the opportunity to do that. Sadly, most people are not going to take that opportunity. They're going to be persuaded by the movements of the world, the consensus. Well, everybody else is doing it, so that must be the right way. Oh, there's only 5 people over here doing it. Due diligence, right? In fact, the Bible says that many are traveling, Many are traveling the road which is wide and full of destruction. There's a lot of spirituality to this. I can't get into it here. But then there's a narrow road. I remember when I was traveling on that wide road, it wasn't pleasant at all. I didn't have any real security. I didn't have any real belief. I was like they say, chucking and jiving. Just trying to get you, and you're just chucking and jiving. But now that I'm on the straight and narrow, and I don't get everything. I don't do everything correctly. I make mistakes. I fall down. Right? I do things. I don't gamble. I don't have that problem anymore. But there's other areas of my life that I'm still working on. It's a different mindset. There's not a lot of people on that road. So when somebody says, "Hey, there's more people going that way. There's more abundance over there," it seems that way. You must create your own language. You must create your own language to guide your life and to guide possibly those that are around you. That's what's going to help you develop belief. The way that you communicate, Jim's mentioned this earlier, ST, self-talk. I didn't expect to get into this way, but let me give you an observation here real quick. I know. Let me see if anybody's got a question. Rich says, "Good job, Jim." There you go. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
And
one thing in
go
regards
ahead.
to the cold turkey deal. We all are going to be, hitting those cravings. What do you do when you hit those cravings? Those cravings are they're like a moment, right? That you have to kind of pass through. It's an uncomfortable moment, but you can get through it. You just need some type of strategy. And sometimes you have to use your imagination and you have to kind of think about it. It's like, okay, all right, I'm getting this craving to go to my addiction, to do to the stuff that I'm trying to get away from. Okay, then you have to think, okay, what's my goal, right? How would I feel if I backslide, you know, and lose all my money again? How would I feel? I would feel kind of terrible. You know, do I want that feeling? No, I don't want that feeling. I'm imagining that feeling. That sucks. It's it, it's something that's difficult. And you start thinking about strategies on how to get rid of those cravings. Go on a walk. I mean, if you're gambling, sure, go get some fast food or something, and like go watch some Netflix. I mean, distract yourself. I mean, it's like little strategies, and then all of a sudden, so you're munching on your curly fries or whatever. It's like, I thought about going gambling, but I don't want to go anymore. I'm fine. And then you fall asleep, and the next day it's like, wow, I didn't go. It's like, wow, that's not that bad. So just be aware that you're going to have to face those cravings, and use your imagination, you know and like take little actions to distract yourself, but you can actually get through that moment.
Yeah, you will get through if you have what it is that you need at the moment. Uh, we are either increasing. You are either increasing or you're decreasing. You are either increasing or decreasing. And I'm realizing more and more in this world that, of course, there's no real perfection. You have to know where you're going. There's a lot going on, folks. This gambling, many addictions, they're just a distraction to keep you from the reality. That's what it is. It's a movie that's playing that's got your attention. But the real movie that's playing on the other side, you're not seeing that one. So once you begin to realize what's truly happening against you, and you're going to get angry. I remember Jim talking about that one time. Get angry within yourself. Get angry within yourself so that you can at least have a fighting chance against this thing. Uh, The gamblers, I tell you, they're in trouble. The further we go into the future, what I'm learning about the technology, the artificial intelligence that is taking place. Let me tell you something. If you're a gambler and you're working the casinos over the next few more months, next few years, with all of this special technology, chat GPT, robotics, artificial intelligence that takes you beyond the normal reasoning, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And recognize that when you step into the casino, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. You're going to give up your money, even if you win a jackpot. I don't care if you win $50,000 jackpot, you still lost. Because if you don't stop at that point, you're going to go back. And what you did to get to that 50,000 was a big loss already. So there's never a real win when it comes to gambling. It's just deception. And it's your choice, my friend. I don't like lying to people. I don't like people that lie. It's not that I don't like them. I don't like what they do. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm completely free from gambling. I'm working on other areas of my life, and I'm excited about what I have. I want to be able to put that inside other people so that you can get excited about what you have, not what I have or Jim has. That's not important to you. What I have, what's important is that you could listen, you could learn something, and you could begin to overcome in your life. I tell you, it's the greatest thing. It is the greatest challenge, and I'll challenge anybody to begin taking on your gambling addiction. Take it on. Take it on. Are you going to let it defeat you, or will take it on if it's not serving you? And I've lost friends here. I've lost people. It doesn't matter to me because I'm going to continue to go forward. And wherever I go, I will be a blessing to those around me. I will be a blessing to those. That's what I prepare for on a daily. I don't want to be a bad seed to somebody. I want to tell people the truth. It might hurt a little bit. It'll hurt a little bit. We're already hurting. In fact, you may be hurting a lot worse than if I tell you the truth, that it's possible for you to overcome. It's possible for you to overcome tonight. I don't believe that. Of course you don't believe it. What if you did decide to turn on your belief? What if you started telling yourself, you know what, Santos? I think I believe. I really believe that I can. And all you got to do is just begin to, number one, be around the right people, do a little bit of study, repetition, right? You can acquire it, you can develop more of it. You have to be in the right environment. Peer pressure is good for you. What I'm doing right here is peer pressure. I'm putting pressure on you. I'm challenging you because I've done it to myself and it works. Until that happens, you will continue the path, the wide road, sadly, of destruction, my friend. There's nothing else. So, again, belief has its work. How do I see belief? I see belief like everything else invisible, a gift from the maker. But isn't it ironic? I said this earlier. In order to believe, you must turn on some kind of belief. It's almost very mysterious if you think about it. You begin moving in a different direction. It's because you believe, but maybe you're not in it all the way yet, right? You don't have that confidence where you say, you know what, man, this is it all the way. Little by little, right? It starts out here today. It starts out with a word. It starts out with belief. It starts out with peer pressure. I see the numbers have jumped way high here. Thank you for that. I want to do a shout out to TikTok, not TikTok. Forgive me there. Twitter, tweet, Facebook. If you're watching, soldiersofselfmastery.com is the site you want to go to. There's tools and there's coaching available, extremely affordable for those that truly, truly want to change, succeed, and develop the mindset like you need to, because the times are going to get tougher, my friend. Next week, the week after that, Fed now's in the system. What's going to happen when they begin controlling your financial bank account? What are you going to do? You need to have a second plan. We all need to have a second plan right now with everything that's going on with our economy. If you just trust in fiat currency, you're not seeing what's really happening. Even the casinos, have you noticed that the casinos, they went digital a while back. They don't no longer give you money out of the machines. You can no longer feed money, right? Why is that? Digital. Everything's moving. So, and those things are going to get more powerful against the people that don't understand that kind of stuff. Oh, I don't know how to work my phone. I study, learn. It's not difficult at all, my friends. But I guess it might be hard if you're gambling, right? To get into the study and these kinds of things that are more important. It is. If you're into gambling, then the world's going to pass you by. Fed now is already in place. When you begin to realize what's happening with your economy, it might be too late. It might be too late. So we're going to be getting ready to land this 777 Boeing here. If you're not soldier scribe to this channel, please do yourself a favor. Soldier scribe. I know I may offend you once in a while. I may hurt you a little bit with the truth. Believe me, this is a good PNGZ, permanent no gambling zone. Okay. If you feel supported here, I'm doing my best to go around the world. I'm doing my best to go around the world. If you feel supported, keep the number 23 in mind. So instead of giving 23, could be 23 cents, could be $23, 23,000. Instead of giving that to the casino, support this mission. We're going to do our best to make sure that we get it out. We get it out to reach other people, young people, old people, business people, and share this live. Share, comment on my videos. I'm asking you to support me as I continue to support you. So with that said, I'm going to be doing my call of action, my C2A here. Jim, go ahead. I've been rattling on here for about 10 minutes straight.
Oh yeah. In regards to belief, right? No, we should be able to believe whatever we want to, as long as it's a positive thing. It's an empowering thing for us, right? That's what we should kind of keep our mind on. Okay, believe whatever, you can believe whatever you want. That's the great thing, right? I mean, think about this: as if you're a spiritual person, if you worship God, think about this. You can believe that. You know what? All the anxiety that I have, all that hate that builds up in me, all the fear, all the jealousy, all the animosity, I can give it to God, you know, and you can believe that God will take it. What? What are you talking about? It's like, you mean I can give this stuff up? I can let it go? Yeah, let it go. He'll take it. God will take it, right? If you believe that, right? Well, that's amazing. Well, how's that possible? You just give it away, put it down, put it down. You know, trash comes into your mind, watching TikTok, give it to him. Says, "I'll take that." God will say, "I'll take that." Rips it up, throws it away. Okay, let's focus on something else. You can imagine, you can believe, the higher power, God, to say, you know what, give me that anger. Let me give you some confidence and kindness. Wow, kindness and confidence. Hmm, boy, So I don't have to carry around this baggage with me. It's amazing. Wow, I believe that. I can just give that up. My gosh, if you believe that, how can that change your life? You know, in your path to destroying your addiction. It's like, wow, those coworkers always get on my case, They make me so angry, and I don't know what to do. Let it go. I can let it go. I don't need the casino anymore. I don't need the alcohol anymore. I don't need the drugs anymore because I'm letting it go. I'm giving it up. Maybe you don't, a lot of people don't believe in that, but hey, if it works for you, man, I mean, hey, that's powerful.
Mhm.
Man, that's powerful. And that's all in the mind right there. That's all in the mind. And how powerful that can be in changing just something like that can allow you to just keep on going down the freeway, not getting off at the casino exit or the bar or whatever, you know, not going to your ATM, right? Not buying that Jack Daniels, Wow, let it go, you know. I'm going to let it go. I believe I can. Just give it up. So I mean belief, who says, what's right or wrong? You say it if it works for you.
Exactly, Jim. This live podcast here was about belief. I'm excited. I basically have recharged my batteries on this podcast. I don't know whether you have, but when I come into this podcast, I'm ready for more change. I say this to myself every single day. Santos, tomorrow you're going to be a different person. You're going to be changed, unlike today. So, Jim, you said you hit the nail right on the head. I want to thank Keith real quick here for his donation. Appreciate that. And well, we've had quite a number of people today here. By the way, Laura, when I say coupons, yes, and it's probably going to go differently. It's a coupon now that the machine spits out, but it may be a card. Eventually, it may turn into an ATM card that you will use in the casinos. There's a lot happening. I'm not sure where this is all going, but I can tell you that sophisticated artificial intelligence is moving into the casinos, just like it's moving into marketing, business structure, business development, and the passing or the transferring of data on the internet at speeds that we've never seen before. So there's a lot happening with all of these things. And on top of that, the gambling world is continuing to expand. So my deposits, let me see, my deposits and losses were via PayPal. In fact, now if you use PayPal, from my understanding, it's not really showing up. PayPal, some of these other apps that they have online, the feds are actually involved in all of these transactions currently. So anytime that you're sending money, from my understanding, I haven't really searched this out completely, but I know that Fed now is in. So the Federal Reserve is actually going to be seeing all of your transactions to Amazon, PayPal, some of these, what is the other one? The Money app, all of these kinds of things. And folks, it's kind of going to get weird for us because if you want to buy a certain thing and the feds don't want you to buy it, from what I understand, they can stop the transaction. Now, there is an alternative to that. You got to get into the tech world to study that alternative. So I thank all of you guys. I truly hope that you walked away with something here tonight on this broadcast, an elevation, an ST. So here's my call to action, and then I'm going to let Jim. Actually, go ahead, Jim. I'll let you share another here few minutes, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to do the call to action, and we're done. We're done. I want to thank everybody for being here. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, just want to reemphasize that, you can believe whatever you want to believe as long as it helps you. And just keep in mind, you can choose the evidence that will support your belief. You don't have to, just have random things. Don't let that negative mind, pull you down in the I can't, right? You can find the evidence that will support your belief that you can beat your addiction. You just need to go ahead and concentrate. You got to use your creative mind, like Santos says. You have to use your self-talk, right? Change your language, right? Think about the kind of language that they're using to support your belief. Remember, you can believe anything you want, and you really should believe, that you can, you know, achieve what you want to achieve. You know,
Exactly.
why not? Why not? What else
And
is there? I mean,
that's it. And again, if you find yourself struggling with a particular something, you can visit soldiersofselfmastery.com. We can correspond by email, and if you want some coaching services, that's available to you. Again, it takes belief, and it takes a personal investment. So that takes belief, because if you don't believe that you can grow and become better, you're not going to pay for coaching. You're not going to buy the book. You're not going to read the book. That makes sense. So here's my call to action. And before I do, I want to say thank you, Ken, for being here with us tonight. Um, Jim, thank you for being here with us tonight. Ken, Keith, and let me see. There's Laura. Thank you for Laura. Safe trucking along the highways and byways. Let me see. Did I get Jim West? Yes, I did. Jim West is there. Keith, once again, I appreciate the donation. I really do. I want you to know that. We got Laura here. Who else here? We've had a lot of people. Rich. We haven't seen Rich in a while. Hope you're doing well, Rich. Thank you for visiting. There's Mark. Did we get Mark? Hi, Mark. Thank you for being here with us. And there's been several others that have been through the airwaves. There's Ken. Thank you for being here, Ken. I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you're winning in life. Who else was here? Ken. All right, you guys have been active there in the chat. I appreciate that. Out of time. Thank you for being here with us. Out of time, 24/7. Who else was here? And again, those of you guests via Facebook and Twitter, I appreciate you. I hope you have found some wisdom here. I hope that you've walked away with something pertinent that will help you tomorrow or later on tonight. I am Coach Santos out of Stockton, California. I'm going to see you again probably this week. I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be going live during the week on evenings. I'm not going to say when. I'll just pop up, and if you're there, we can. But I'll definitely be back here Sunday. So here's my recommendation. Here's my call to action. Ask yourself, how could I grow belief or more of it? Write down what comes to your mind, then take action. With that said, good night, all. Thanks, Jim. I will see you on my next live, Lord willing. Take great care, man. Keep going
Okay,
forward.
good night, Santos. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.